So this event was on human rights, universal, interdependent and interrelated. So the whole issue was to discuss how we can promote human rights with the current instruments and within the current frameworks, but bearing in mind that we need to also promote special rights and also take into account the multidimensionality of identities.
Well, we aim to bring people who represent different stakeholders together, and also we aim to bring different perspectives together, because we had a lot of discussions about human rights issues, of course, beforehand with the other youth delegates. And we saw that since we're also coming from different study backgrounds, we have people study psychology, people study philosophy, people study law or politics, that we have a very different perspectives and also approaches to human rights.
Dominic Packer talking about identities, about the formation of identities, about the change and the behavioral change, and how social norms can affect change and can affect institutional change.
What I study are group identities, how people define themselves in terms of the groups that they belong to, how those groups can be formed. The human species is a very groupy species. We like groups. Some of the best parts of life are in groups.
Our colleague from UN Women, Dane, was pretty eloquent at promoting the universality and the need to keep the universalism in mind if we want to reach a more inclusive world eventually.
Is to start to appreciate the universality of duties alongside the universality of rights, because it is through that we recognize a universalism of everyone having a responsibility to respect the rights of each other. Without that, human rights is actually a far narrower thing.
Maya Saoud spoke about her advocacy lab. It's an amazing project, a grassroots project here in New York, looking at how you can promote human rights education amongst young people.
False charity to me is doing something that you think is seeking out to help, right? But in fact, what you're doing is addressing the issue on the surface.
And then Leo Castillo, our colleague from OHCHR, sort of give us an overview of how we got there in terms of human rights instruments, really emphasizing the cumulative approach that we have to progress in that endeavor.
If you go back to the Universal Declaration, Article 15 says everyone has the right to nationality. Many countries around the world that actually have ratified international treaties, they do not recognize the mom passing on the nationality to their children.
So Ahmed Paul raised the issue of maybe some, difficulties and challenges of pushing for a certain agenda on LGBTQ, for instance.
That I have provided over and over again through the explicit inclusion of sexual orientation and gender identity in said declarations, resolutions, is that there are a set of characteristics that everyone exhibits, heterosexuals, homosexuals, pansexuals, they don't pertain to any one demographic or a single group of people.
Why we invited the artists and also what they spoke about was the fact how multidimensional an identity can be, and that you are not one or the other, you are everything at the same time. And this is what also the poems showed and the persons behind are standing for.
I come from two sides of one coin that never stops spinning. The revolving door of change and revolution. Brooklyn is the mountaintop. Palestine, my bloodline, come from a culture of ambidextrous as they come.
I loose my curls at night, lift the window, and leave myself on the screen. I read Lorca in the Spanish, pondering his beard of butterflies until I feel feminine enough to sleep. Thank
you. In the end, I would say it was good, because even if the side event couldn't deliver a specific answer to that topic, it showed up, or it brought up the complexity of that topic.